G.S.C Chronicles contains adult content and adult language. So please remove all children from the room. And if you are not in a private setting, meaning if your ass is at work or at church or around some people you don't want to know that you on some freaky shit, please wear headphones. Welcome to the G.S.C Chronicles. On this podcast, we focus on alternative relationship styles, kinks, fetishes, as they relate to the black community and all people of color. So sit back and enjoy the show.
And welcome to the G.S.C Chronicles. On this show, we got Lil D, we got M, we got Lady T, we got Penelope, and we're gonna get into some topics tonight.
Don't mute me, bro. No.
Giving no attention.
Don't mute me.
From a YouTube playlist that I put together of some poly videos. Some are on some negative aspects, some are on some positive aspects. One of the videos was just on the structure of monogamy.
I tried out drugs just a second ago.
So we're gonna
He
get
hit a jewel.
into these videos and talk about the subjects, and we're gonna talk about what we thought about them and all that good shit. So
I'll start.
hold on. I'm gonna go around the table, and I just want to see who thought which video was the most interesting to them. You could just say which video it was.
Pick me.
Okay, well,
Pick me.
we'll go clockwise.
Pick me.
D, which video did you think was the most interesting to you?
The most interesting to me was the one with the dude and the two. I forgot what it was called, but I remember it was the dude and he had the two. I think one of them was like Spanish and the other girl was white. I can't remember exactly their ethnicities, but that one was the most interesting to me. Just basically how that whole power dynamic was like working between that relationship. Like that was like, it's almost ideal for me. That's some shit that I would look to, like I'm looking forward to. And not only that, but their comfortability within one another, themselves, and the level of dominance, or the level of like order the guy. To me, when I saw that video, it was almost like he, like being that there's him and two women, he obviously has to play in a very significant role in making sure that all that shit is in order, kind of. And the way, just like his mannerism that whole time was pretty, yeah. If that makes sense at all.
Yeah. M, which one did you find the most interesting?
You're gonna have to skip me because I didn't watch any of them. Well, the one that started playing you showed me a while ago, so the pros and cons. So that's why I was like, let me just not be.
That's an F.
I need a ratchet.
You.
The one I like the most was
Is Buzz Down.
Tatiana. The one. Well, I have two favorites. So the one I liked, the history of monogamy. I think it was specifically called Monogamy Explained. I really liked that video because it just kind of showed you from like the beginning of humanity to like now, like how monogamy has played a role in our lives and how now it's changing and why at some points in time it was like a necessary thing. And it was also showing how in other cultures monogamy was never a thing. It was showing like in hunter-gatherer cultures, whatever male has sex with the woman while she's pregnant, they are also a father of that child. So they kind of grow up in like a community family almost, where like if a baby is crying, like they just pick up the baby, they take care of it, and it's just like a whole community like raising the children. And it actually gave them better life expectancy if they had more kids. or had more fathers in their lives. And then the other one that I also liked was the one where they which one was that? Oh yeah, I think it was Can You Be in Love with Multiple People? And it was kind of like a discussion between people who like really believe in monogamy versus polyamory people, and they were just, it was really interesting to see like each side's opinion on it and like their point of view of why they think monogamy works for them or why they think that they could never be polyamorous or vice versa. And I really liked how they had that contrast. Those are my favorite too.
Penelope, did you get to any of them? Did you find any of them interesting?
Yeah, so I think like the most interesting one was like the history of like monogamous relationships, because that's something I learned in like my family and intimate relationship class. And I remember like, because I learned about this like a while ago, and I remember like my teacher asked how I felt about it, and I just remember thinking like it was just so weird because it wasn't like for me, like relationships are so like romanticized. So when learning about monogamous relationships and the history of it, it wasn't romanticized. It was more of like a necessity to survive. So it definitely gave me like a different outlook on monogamous relationships.
Yeah. I thought they were all interesting. That's why I put them in the playlist. You know what I'm saying?
No
I mean, because like, well, as I was making the playlist, right, and I'm going through different videos, I felt like the videos that I put in that playlist touched on things that I've kind of learned to be important points and touch on important subjects, and especially like the evolution of monogamy and kind of knowing the history, because a lot of people have a strong belief in monogamy because they think that is the true and correct way that people are supposed to be. Is deep rooted in religion, is deep rooted in, you know, land ownership and, you know, taking care of children, all these different things. And just, I don't really think people are aware of how new the concept of monogamy is, how like recent it really is in human history, just in history in general. Like, it's not some thousands and thousands of year old fucking system. It's not, you know what I mean? And I think, and then also too, like, I chose videos that were like non-heterosexual videos because there's a large part of the image of poly that is really, I don't know, like, one dude just fucking hella chicks, or like married couples fucking people on the side. Like, the actual image of what poly looks like as a whole isn't really looked at. You know what I mean? And to watch like those, because there was like 2 sets of lesbian thruples. Just to see that image, I think is important for people to know that. And then even in that that history of monogamy, you saw a couple of like gay couples in that speak. So I really like a wider, diverse image of what poly is. So let's segue into some discussions on it. Like, I see you wrote down a whole shit ton of notes.
You know, scholarly.
Yeah, let's run through your notes.
So I kind of just took down whatever I felt like was important or significant in each video.
Yeah.
For the first one, it was 8 Signs Polyamory is for You. And I thought that was a really interesting one because I almost identified, I think, with like all of the 8 things that they said. So one of them was monogamy or polyamory is for you if you feel limited or constrained in non-monogamy. And it was really touching on how there's a lot of things you feel that in a monogamous relationship, like fear, jealousy, and possession, that's like that's a big like topic in monogamy, but it doesn't come from a place that's like positive, like, or loving. It comes from a negative place. So
see, this is the thing, and this is where like I have the greatest conflict when I'm having discussion with monogamous people, is that I think they're really unwilling to accept the fact that jealousy or monogamy is never a positive emotion in any fucking situation, anywhere, ever. It's just not. You know what I mean? And then when you start having these discussions about the structure of relationships and where your love is coming from and why you're defining the rules to your relationship and what you're considering a success in your relationship, and they start to see like your whole shit is really based upon and controlled upon these two very strong and negative, bad emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which always kind of just creates a prison so you don't feel bad, or so that you don't have to work through none of your shit. You know what I mean?
It's like
when
stagnant.
you feel jealous, you then want to enact things around the person so that whatever they're doing doesn't make you feel jealous. Monogamous people are not prompted to, I think I need to work on why I feel jealous. It's more on, I need
What are
to
you doing?
stop this person from making me feel jealous. You know what I mean? But,
and I felt like that was really interesting, and I was kind of self-reflecting, and I was thinking that is like a big, that when I was monogamous, that was like a big part of it, and you don't really realize that how negative that is when you're in it, because that's just kind of like the default settings of your relationship, so you don't actually realize how negative it is. But I did realize that most of the monogamous relationships I was in were them controlling me by like being possessive, jealousy, and just like fear that the person is gonna leave you. So when they said that in the video, I was like, oh shit, like that's all I was doing in my monogamous relationships. Like it wasn't.
Hold on for a second, pause that. Hey nigga, you die. Hey, you believe in God. I don't do no resuscitation on people who have like believe in God.
What are you doing?
I just need to chill out for a second.
Okay, that's cool. That's good.
Take that
Because
from him.
I always got to let people know that if you believe in some type of God, I do not render first.
I didn't even see him lay down. I thought
You
he
didn't? That nigga just.
I thought he went in to reach into his bag, so I'm just like, oh, okay. Are you okay? Are you dizzy? Do you need some water? A pillow?
He fine. That's a grown ass man. He good.
Okay.
If you stop breathing, let us know. Go ahead. What was you saying?
Oh, where was I? So I just realized that most of my monogamous relationships were just like, yes, we were together, yes, we liked each other, but it was so much like possession and like jealousy and like fear of what that person is gonna do, like how are they gonna leave you. And as I was watching this video, I was just like checking off all the lists. So number 2 was that you no longer are feeling
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I think this is good. Just read off the 8 things that, what was it? 8 things that, 8 things?
that polyamory is for you.
Yeah. Read off those 8 things, and I would like to go around and see who identifies with which one, like how many you check off.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just start from the beginning so everyone has a list. So 1, feeling limited or constrained in monogamy. 2, no longer feeling individualistic. You focus more on your partner and you may be neglecting aspects of yourself. 3, other people bring you energy, and, you know, just like flirting with somebody else, like isn't, or just like having coffee and like flirting with someone else, like isn't necessarily like a bad thing in your relationship. 4, that you like to challenge yourself to grow. 5, communication and honesty are very important to you. 6, you don't like living life by like society's constructs. 7, you trust and love and value your connection with your partner, and when you have a connection like that, if it's genuine, like it's hard to break that down if you bring someone new in. And then 8 is being aware that love is not limited to one person.
Now, don't die in my house. We're not doing that. We're going to go counterclockwise this time. Did you identify with any of those?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I identify with like most of them, honestly. Do you want me to expand?
No, we'll expand after. So was it like, so out of the 8, maybe 4 or 5?
Yeah, I'd say it was most of them.
How about you?
I would say like every single one, honestly. I think I identify with every single one.
How about you?
I identify with some of them, yeah.
How many out of the 8?
I don't really know.
Maybe
but
4?
yeah.
You?
I'm all in, baby.
Me, yeah, all 8. All 8. So now we'll go counterclockwise and elaborate on which ones we identified with and why.
All of them?
Penelope?
Okay, wait, can I see? Okay. So I think the main one is like wanting to grow as a person, because I just feel like you can never remain like static. Or you can, but that's like something I don't like, because you're always like constantly changing, and that's something I would want. And then like I'd say another big one is like not being able to be like individualistic. Like I noticed like in my monogamous relationships I started seeing like depending on other people, like depending on my partner instead of just being by myself. Should I keep expanding? I could honestly relate to all of them.
I mean, you can give a little tidbit on each one.
I'm sorry. Your handwriting isn't bad. I'm just like,
Oh,
I'm like,
which one?
I'm like dyslexic. Okay. Let me see. Oh yeah, and other people bring you energy. Like, I noticed like can I continue?
Hold on. I know you did not walk in my motherfucking house and just leave the goddamn door open, son. Wow. Children. Go ahead.
Fuck them kids. Anyways, like with other people giving me energy, like I noticed like even when I was in relationships, like those like small like, you know, conversations I would have like with people I just met, like it would give me like a lot of energy, and I would feel like I was cheating on my partner because I was like feeling like some type of way when I do have like small talk with other people, or like not even flirting, but just like having like a good conversation with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
T?
I think the ones that resonated for me the most is along with what Penelope was saying, I've been focusing a lot lately on like being more individualistic, because I know that in monogamy, when I was monogamous, I was like definitely falling into the routine of like focusing more on your partner, like wanting to hang out with them more than like getting the things that you need to do done. And I feel like that's terrible. I feel like as much as you have like this desire and urge to want to be with your partner all the time, like I don't think you're benefiting anybody by like neglecting your activities and like you growing as a person. So that one really resonated with me. The other one was other people bringing. I don't know what's going on right now.
Just keep going.
The other one that I also liked was other people bringing you energy. I feel like that is a very real thing, and just like what Penelope was saying, like I remember being monogamous and being with a partner of mine, and we were just starting to talk, but I still had a Tinder, and I was still messaging people on Tinder. Nothing was really coming of it though. I was just simply like messaging people on Tinder, like just having conversation, and he ended up getting really, really mad at me that I'm cheating on him and all this other shit. When really by like physicality wise, like I was being monogamous with him, like I was not doing anything wrong, but just the fact that I was conversing with other men bothered him so much that he felt like I was cheating on him. And looking back on that now, I feel like that was absolutely ridiculous and I should have laughed at his face when he told me that. But I feel like that's something that I reflected on and I can work through. And then another one that I also really liked was having, if you like trust, if you love your partner and have a deep connection with them and you value them, in the video is saying that it's hard to break a connection that you genuinely have with someone, even if someone new comes in, because it's like you already have something that's like been well established with someone else. And when I kind of stepped out and thought about that, I was like, you know, that's really true. Like, when has me meeting some girl at work, like as a friend, has hurt my relationship with my best friend? Like, if I think of it in terms of that, I feel like it's almost silly to say that, oh yeah, if I hang out with another girl, then my best friend is gonna feel some type of way, or our connection is like lacking, therefore. And
but people do feel like that. Like, people, even in friendships,
yeah,
feel jealous when you meet somebody else and y'all click and y'all kind of hanging a little too much. That other friend starts to feel left out and starts to feel,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, yeah, you definitely still need the balance and everything. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because me and Penelope actually joke about that all the time with each other, since she's Asian, I'm white, and we always tease around, like, she's like, oh, I went to go hang out with Becky today. And I'm like, oh, you have another white bitch now? And we just kind of like go back and we just joke around about it. But yeah, that is true. And that's also happened to me before. But yeah, that... I just don't agree. I would say that those are like the top three ones for me that I agreed with the most and that like connected to my life.
All right. You gonna take another pass or?
Yep.
How about you?
And the question is, which one did I like the most?
Or just like a couple that like spoke to you, or whichever ones you agreed with the most.
So again, I think all of them pretty resonated with me. I think they all apply to me. I think the ones that resonate the most is I would say feeling limited or no longer feeling. So number one is feeling limited. Number two is feeling like it's no longer individualistic. It's more of like you're always wondering about what your partner is thinking or has to say about what you're currently doing. Like maybe neglecting aspects of yourself as well. And I think that really, I think that is true. I think let's hit on the first one at least. So on the first one, it says feeling limited and constrained. I would say that I feel that when in a monogamous relationship, it's like they said there's like a default way.
Yeah.
There's a default way for what monogamy is, right? Versus for non-monogamous or polyamorous, you get to pretty much choose and you get to like build your relationship. It's like it's brand new and you get to create how you want things to go. Versus in monogamous, it's like again, it's been
well established.
Yeah, it's been well established for years. Then it says not feeling individualistic. You always have to focus like on your partner, and you may neglect aspects of yourself. I think that that kind of goes with number 3, which people brings energy to you. When meeting other people, I feel like I do think about my partners, but I believe that those two are, I think those two are pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, I believe that when you're in that monogamous, you do always have to pay attention. You always have to be mindful of, okay, my partner likes this, my partner doesn't like blah, 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 right? You always have to think about what your partner is going to say or do or feel or react to what you're currently doing. Versus when it's polyamorous, non-monogamous, you do get to, take into account what your partner thinks, but it's also like, how are you feeling? Do you feel good? Do you like this person? Are you, how are you able to grow? And that's where it says, like, you may be neglecting aspects of yourself. So when meeting other people, one person might bring something out of you that another person doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at those two. Number 4, challenges yourself to grow. That's probably the one that resonates with me the most. I'm always challenging. I'm always trying to figure out, once I hit one thing, okay, now I got to figure out what's the next thing. Now I got to figure out, how do I improve this? Okay, how do I improve that? Like when me and Lady T, even still to this day, when me and her first started talking, when we met, I told her, like, once this is done, like I'm already, before this is done, I'm already thinking about what the next thing is, right? And so it also helps me grow as far as like jealousy and like, so here it says fear, passion, and fear, jealousy, and possessiveness does not come from polyamory, right? That's mostly in monogamous, and I do believe that, and those things could render your time or thought or mindset to be able to grow, because you have these feelings that are blocking your ability to see clearly.
Yeah.
Communication and honesty, that would probably be another great one. That's probably the second one that I'm seeing out of all of these. And then the societal constructs, right? I'm always challenging the dynamics of things. I'm always challenging the social construct of things. I've always been the one to be like, yeah, that shit don't make sense to me. I don't know why a group of people do this. Like, why do y'all think like this? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, say, for instance, like the organized religion.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been able to be like, well, the Bible says this, but apparently that's not possible. I mean, like, say, for instance, not the Bible says this. The Bible says, the skin of burnt brass, but all you see is, like, again, no offense to nobody, but all you see is, like, the white man being Jesus or whatever. So that's something, or God, that's something that I've always been like, well niggas black, like that's not even possible. Or like, what if it's a woman, like that type of stuff. So I've always challenged those aspects, and I think that has to do with just challenging myself to grow. So I think out of all of them, I'm gonna finalize my answer and say that my favorite one is the challenge yourself. I'm always challenging myself and challenging those that are around me.
I think for me, all of them, right?
Right.
The construct thing is a big one because I've always been a person, like I'm an intellectual, I'm a philosopher. The way my mind works is to analyze a structure, a social norm, and not just go, well, I don't want to do that. Like, where did this come from? How did this start? How did it progress? How did it get from how it started to where it's at now? Early in my life, I went through like a deconstruction period of just deconstruction, everything I believed, to figure out if I really believed it, or if I was conditioned to believe it, and if I believed it, why? You know what I mean? I went through this whole period of time to where I began to construct all my beliefs around things that were facts, proven, quantified, measured, and counted. You know what I mean? And growing up, Polly, you know, when you first learn what monogamy is, your mind really, it's really hard to grasp the concept of monogamy when you grow up, Polly, because you can't see the logic of it. Like, you try to figure out the logic of it, and as people explain it to you, they just keep saying these negative things. Well,
Yeah.
you shouldn't cheat because of this, and you should only be with this one person because of this. And all of those reasons are usually some imprisoning negative things. And I just remember going, well, how the fuck would anybody do that?
Right.
Like, the first time, like, you know, in high school, I had this big situation where, like, I met this girl, I really liked her, you know, we decided to, like, date, and I took her. We were under the bridge. I went to Pinole High School for a while, right? We were under the bridge smoking weed. So we went from under the bridge because we heard the lunch bell, and I took her to go meet my girlfriend to introduce her to my girlfriend. And I remember my girlfriend at the time smashed me with a whole thing of hot tater tots with mustard on it and shit. That becoming like this big thing and having to go to the principal's office, and this whole, you know, thing, the principal starts to tell me, oh, one man, one woman, and da-da-da-da. And I just was like, what? Wait a minute. I only get one girlfriend. I remember being so baffled and so lost in that conversation. And just being like, why? Like, oh, because, you know, it's who the fuck says it's wrong?
Yeah.
Like, where is this? Who is this who? Who is this they that you're talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people, when they go, oh, this is wrong or that's wrong, they'll often say, well, you know, they say it's wrong to do this. Bitch, who is the they?
Yeah, exactly.
They who?
Right.
You know what I mean? If you can't track it back to who said, I'm good. The imprisonment of it is hurtful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel hurt emotionally by that type of prison.
So when you say that, I think of two people. I'm not gonna say their names, who they are, but I'll give you their mindset. Their mindset is that I want it all. You listen to me, and I'll do what the fuck I want to do.
You can't say your own name?
And you can't do any of that shit. No, that's not me. I'm actually very open and flexible. But
Because all that was you until the last part. The only part of that you don't have is you can't do none of that shit. You're like, I'm going to do all of what I want and how I want, and you can do what you want to.
yeah. See, that's why I say I'm flexible. I'm not a hypocrite. That's what I almost think of it as. Like, if I'm gonna do some shit, feel free to do it too. Like, please, right? So it's almost not like a dictatorship, right? It's very open. I'm giving you your options, and I'm letting you know what I'm doing in those times. What I was mentioning with the two people was that they actually were dating for a while, but then they stopped dating because both of them was in that mindset. They were like, I want you to myself, but I also want other people, but you can't have anybody else. And literally both of them were like that. So it was like, you can only imagine how that
But that's a lot of people.
ended up and turned out.
Because anytime somebody cheats, that's really what they are. Like, I want to be with somebody else. I want to have sex with somebody else. I want to have conversations and time with somebody else. But I need to keep this to myself because I don't want you to have that. You know what I mean? Like, when people cheat, that's the
Egotistical.
shit that they're on. Like, I can handle me fucking somebody else. I can't handle you fucking somebody else.
Right.
Type shit.
Right. And that has to do with like like number 7. Number 7 is trust your love and connection with your partner. Value trust. Hard to break connection that you, if you genuinely love someone. Hard to break a connection with someone that you love. Hard to break a connection with someone that you love by bringing a new partner in. I think that has to do with that, like that trust and love for yourself and for your partner. I think growing up too, my big thing, like I'm really noticing like my big thing of those constructs and just this form of relationship in general is it happened like back in high school almost. I remember in high school, so I went to elementary school and middle school where it was pure black people, right? And then going to high school, it was mostly white people. So the change was that all my group of friends went to the high school that was purely black people. I decided to go to the high school that was purely white people. I wanted to see a change, right? I wanted to see like, well, how is these white people doing this over here? Well, what is they doing that? Like, I wanted to be diverse and like cultured, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that really helped in a sense because a lot of the things that I had as a black person growing up, then I saw, okay, this is how the black community lives over here. Okay, this is how the white community lives over here. So then I was able to take both of those and build that on my own, right? And then there's a lot of people that like only grow up in like, say for instance, the black community, only always around black people, and they think, look, feel, and touch black, right? So like, say for instance, like, what show are we on right now? Are we on G-Spot? Mm-hmm. Like, say for instance, like eating ass, right? You have eating ass, and that shit is like.
No, go ahead.
What?
It was just funny. You were like, which one is this? And
I just had to make sure I didn't.
You're like, eating ass.
I didn't want it to be on the political one, so I was like, let me make sure I act. But like eating ass in like the black community, that shit is like not at all, right? Versus you go to like the white community where that shit's like, at least the communities where I grew up.
It's
right?
just Tuesday.
It's
just that common.
It's just that common, right? So I think that was like a big thing. So then I was able to like take some of those things, bring it back to the community, and just kind of like flip flop, right? Or not flip flop, but like kind of like
go back and forth.
Be able to what is it? My mom calls it like cultural change or some shit like that.
Code switch.
But yeah, I think that was one of like the first steps of me really like challenging society, because it was well known like in that community that I was in, it was like, nigga, we're black. You do everything black. You are to stay black. We don't really know what's going on over here. You know what I mean? Like, or over there. This is where we are. And I'm like, no, I want to find out what the fuck going on over there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on over there that's affecting us over here. So if I figure out what the fuck going on over there and over here, then I feel like I can master all of that shit.
Yeah.
Right? So then when I started wearing like fucking like Chelsea boots and shit, and in my community, I was like, nigga, you're wearing Chelsea boots? Nigga, that's what? Or like, say for instance, where I was with like white women and they needed to tan. I remember this was like a big thing, actually. This is a huge thing. They needed to tan, right? So like usually during like fucking lunchtime or something, when we're all eating lunch, we're all out in the grass, laying down, like shirts off and shit. Well, they're laying down, they're in like the bikinis and shit, and I'm sitting there, I got my shirt off because it's just hot, right? But when my black friends saw me, they were like, nigga, you was out tanning with the white people? I'm like, no, nigga. Actually, what I was doing was I was just hanging out with the bitches, right? But it just so happened to be that we was all outside in the grass with our shirts off, right? So like people back then would be like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And wonder why I'm doing this, and that. But it was really just to be able to go out and find out what the fuck going on, and then challenge that in a sense.
I think,
I don't know if that was still on track, but
No, yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say too was like sex, right? In monogamy, sex is the definer of everything. If you have sex with somebody else, you don't love me. If you want to have sex with somebody else, you don't love me. You know, there's so much importance on sex being a definer of like loyalty and all of these different things. And for me, how I see it in poly and how I grew up with it and how I view it is sex is everything and nothing. If I'm in love with somebody, the way that I have sex with them and the sex that I have with them is very special. It's very emotional. It's very romantic. But if I'm having recreational sex with somebody, it's recreational. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if I'm having sex with a friend, like a really good friend, and, you know, because there are times to where, like, I've been going through lonely periods and had a really close friend going through lonely periods, and we just slept together for a minute because we didn't really have anybody else to kind of provide that comfort. We bonded a little more, but it didn't change up the friendship or how I treated them and stuff like that. And it, you know, when I look at like the spectrum of how sex falls for me, who it's with, why it's happening, what the purpose is, defines it for me. You know what I mean? Whereas monogamy, you're either on some one-off shit or we're together shit. You know what I mean? It's just that.
That was another thing that when I went to high school, it was like, I mean, going out of middle school, of course, I mean, you're not really supposed to be dating then, but going into high school, it was like, there was a lot of people that had multiple partners, and I would even then look at it weird at that time. I was like, that shit is a little weird, but I remember like venturing off and thinking about that and trying it, and at that time period, it really wasn't working for me because I didn't know how to handle it properly. There's definitely a lot of like care that you have to have, and great communication that you need to like, that trait that you need to like gain. But when I then brought that back to like my friends that I grew up with and stuff, there was like, I mean, yeah, mom and dad, mom and dad would fight and argue because of, oh, dad did this or mom did that or whatever, but they never really looked at it like that. They just thought, oh, that's older people, blah blah blah. But then when I said it, I feel like they looked at it much differently. They looked at it like when parents did it, they're like, oh, that's just grown folks doing whatever grown folks talk about. But then when I came and was like, hey y'all, we can have multiple women at once, like that's a thing, you know. They're like, nigga, what?
What?
They're like,
what hood you grew up in?
Nigga, what? Some people did. Other people was like, I've been got bitches, nigga. I've been having bitches since bitches been having bitches. But like, you know, like.
But no, like, okay. So, for me, right, when you look at like the black community, right, you have some very stark contrast groups. You have the religious part of the community,
right.
Where monogamy and marriage and family is like the key part of that shit. Then you have, you know, there's always like a hippie part of black culture, and then you have like this player part.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, everybody is like fucking hella people and hella lying and hella deceitful shit.
I was just about to say that. I
know, as a poly person who's black and from the hood, having discussions with dudes on, nigga, why you lying?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just... oh, no, nigga, you like, my bitches, they don't know each other, and I keep my shit... You know, it was this idea of the more separated and the more in the dark you can keep shit, the better players you were.
The shit was tighter, yeah,
and it was just like, I never could understand that, too, because it's like, I don't want no chick busting my windows. I don't want no sugar in my tank. I don't want nobody coming to my job, you know, flashing out or shit like that. So it was always like, yo, this is what I am, this is what I do, da-da-da. And when women were like, nah, I'm cool. I can't fuck around with that. It was like, cool, I respect your decision, and I'll do it moving. I never could do the, I want to be with you or fuck you so bad, I need to manipulate you and lie to you to have you.
Yeah, I mean, that's in better, you put it definitely in better words. I think the those that were already like, nigga, I've been having bitches is that I was literally thinking the name in my head, and that's why I was like, I don't know if you heard me like trying to interrupt, but I was gonna say yeah, those were like mostly the player people. Like the player people was always like, nigga, I've been having women, right? And then the foreigners, the ones that were like, well, what are you talking about? They're just both of them was like, in that sense of, all you have to do, this is the easiest way to have multiple people, and it just be perfectly fine. You have one in Seattle and one in Texas, and they will never find out, you know?
Yeah,
and
I can't.
And I'm like, like thinking back on that, it was always like at first that was the fresh thing. That was like, okay. But then once I really, again, kept playing with those constructs and
Hold
just
up.
talking about that.
I have done a variation of that. So like, I've had being here, right? I've had a girlfriend in Eugene, a girlfriend in Portland, and a girlfriend in Longview, and a girlfriend in Seattle, and Beaverton, right? And that's more for me, it's like time. I've done that more out of time because everybody isn't available every day. So even though everybody knows about each other and everything is out in the open, this person can only spend time with me twice a month. This person can only spend time with me once a month. This person can only spend time with me once a week.
Right.
And it was more of a time management thing.
Right.
With the distance. And being new here, I was very uncomfortable with dating people who lived close to me. I didn't really have that feeling of safety and embeddedness here. It didn't feel like home yet. So I just was like, nah, I don't really want, you know what I mean? Like, it made me feel very uncomfortable to be dating like somebody in the same city. You know what I mean? Like, so for a minute in the beginning, it was just like, no, like when I would be on like Tinder or P.O.F or something like that, like I'm looking like Tiger, Beaverton, Aloha, the Dials. You know what I mean? Like, let me look for people who have a little distance from my house. You know what I mean? But once I kind of got a little more familiar with like the culture, the women here, the flow and shit like that, I kind of got over that. You know what I mean?
I think mine me personally, mine stemmed from just the way I grew up. Because I did, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I did grow up like grandparents went to church, mom went to church. Like, I had to go to church on Sundays, didn't want to go, but parents made me, like mom made me. And even then, I would always have time like going in there, like people are talking. I'm like, is this straight out the Bible, or he make this shit up? Is this some shit that he's just telling us? Like, is this some stuff that he just wants us to believe and he's just saying it? Or is this something that this holy, just utmost person is saying, right? And there I would, fall asleep and be bored and try to pop at girls at the church and all this stuff, right? I'm like, bro, this church shit is kind of,
Yeah. Y'all two kind of quiet over there, like...
I was trying to pipe in at one point, but I don't know. The topic changed and yada yada. I feel like I like how Bobby has such an extreme. It's not. I guess I could call it an extreme point of view or point of reference because you grew up in a poly household, so like. The thought of monogamy for you was like foreign and like unnatural almost, but I feel like I come from like a total opposite, that polyamory and like polygamy that wasn't even really considered an option for me like 2 years ago, just based off of how my parents raised me and also just what I've seen of polygamy in TV and media. I think the first time I had even heard of like, besides like Islam, the first time I had heard of people having multiple wives or multiple partners was like that fucking TLC show where it was like sister wives or like some other shit, you know? So, and that was just such a terrible example. Like the guy, it was one guy and he had like 4 wives, and he was just absolutely terrible. Like he was not a good leader. He was not helping the women like through their jealousy or like constructively like trying to talk about shit that some of the women had like reservations about. Like he was just kind of just like putting everything under the rug, and the women on the other hand were like jealous of each other. The first wife, who was like initially with the guy, was super like possessive of him, so she would act like she's open, but then actually behind the scenes she was like conniving and trifling and trying to like fuck shit up so like she could be on top. And when I saw that, I was just like, this is absolutely terrible. Like, why would I want to do this? Like, they're just bickering. Like, everyone is fucking stressed out. And I was just like, hell no. Like, I would not want to do that at all. And, you know, looking back on it now, I'm like, man, fuck you, TLC. Like, y'all are not doing a service for anybody by portraying that. Like, I get that they were just doing it for, like, the dramatics of the show because it's supposed to be like riveting, but that was just terrible for me to watch because like now, even when we were looking through the videos that you added to that playlist, the one that D was talking about that he liked, the one where it was one guy and he had two girlfriends, and they were also like girlfriends to each other, so it wasn't really like, oh, his 2 girlfriends, it was kind of like a triad thing. And you know, D asked me like, you know, could you see yourself doing something like that? And I said yes. The only reason I feel some type of way about it now is just because of shit I've seen in the media, and also that I don't have a connection right now with another woman that I would be interested in like making into a triad. So like with D, I already have like a foundation of trust built with him, and I have a good connection with D. Like I know like that's good, but I haven't had a connection with another girl. So like looking at it, I'm like, the thoughts that come into my head first are like, oh, what are their real intentions? Like, you know, are they just pretending to be nice, but like they're actually like, they have like some total other agenda than like just trying to be building a connection with me and building a connection with him. And I feel like it's a lot of those thoughts that pop into my head just come from like that shit that I saw on TV. Like all the women had like their own motives. Like they weren't actually collectively trying.
The thing about that is, you know, when you look at a show like that, these are not women who are together, right? So like,
and that's weird too.
Is that Big Love or Sister Wives? Because I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, because they just came out with another one too on TLC where it's like more, it's like little groups of like polyamorous people. Like there's one couple looking for a girlfriend, and that's like a new one, but I don't know what that one is called.
Personally, I feel like I like triads because I am open to fidelity situations, right? Polyfidelity is a closed group, right? So triads fit into that. I personally feel triads are very, like a really perfect situation for a straight and a bisexual person. You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you have a straight dude and you have a bisexual woman, in monogamy, you got to cut one off. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be an active bisexual person in a monogamous relationship because you have to make a choice on, I'm going to be in a relationship with this man, or I'm going to be in a relationship with this woman, or I'm not going to be in a relationship at all to have sexual fulfillment with both, right? And usually as you get older, the sexual fulfillment really takes backseat to having an emotional and romantic connection with a man or a woman, right? So when you have a bisexual person in a relationship with a straight person, a triad is kind of like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
He's straight, he gets 2 women. She's bisexual, she gets a man and a woman, and she's bisexual, she gets a man and a woman. You know what I mean?
It's more equal.
And you can close that up, you know. So I feel like triads fill a good, perfect void for a particular structure, for particular people.
Yeah.
And it depends on how, because I've only seen a few where it was like a straight woman and a bisexual dude. You know what I mean? To where it was one woman and 2 bisexual dudes. That's I'm not gonna say it's a rarity. I just only personally seen that a couple times, but I have seen way more 2 women, 1 man triads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I would be open to that, and just the level that those people were on, like the interviewer was asking them like, so like, are you ever jealous? And both the women were like, no, like never. And the women were actually really good on like, oh, you know, one of them has work tomorrow morning, so I told my man like, no, go sleep with her, like, you know, she gotta leave in the morning, like we can just do it tomorrow and shit like that. And I just was, when I saw that, I was just like, wow, like they're so selfless and so thoughtful and like thinking about the other person. Like if I was in a if I could reach that with another woman and a man, I would absolutely love to, because I feel like that's just is so healthy, and it just like I could see myself being in that position, but I just have to get to that point where I just have like such a low amount of jealousy, and like I'm so sure of myself. And
that's the thing, like I don't believe jealousy ever goes away, right?
Yeah,
it's just that in poly situations, when you feel jealousy, the norm is to process through the jealousy, to think about why you feel jealous, and then to work through it.
Yeah.
Not go, I feel jealous, so I need to put some extra bubble wrap around your ass so you don't make me feel jealous.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, control what you're doing. That's making me, you know, you're forced to have to deal with that. Because I feel jealous all the time. It's just I know my mind leans, well, why did I feel jealous? Like, what does how does my jealousy affect my partner?
Yeah.
Is it robbing them of something? Is it just beyond controlling? Is it taking something and satisfying, joyful, productive, positive away from them because I feel jealous? And then, because anytime you feel jealous, that's your shit. It's something in you. It's a deficit that you feel in yourself, that whatever that action was or whoever that person is touching. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to go inwards, because even this week, or I may have had like maybe 3-4 strong feelings of jealousy through this week. It just at my age, I can process through them quickly.
Yeah.
My output is more just positive. You know what I mean?
And I've really been working on that.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I had a real petty moment. I had one to where the action and the my response to it was super petty. My partner got a snap from an ex. I think he was like in the shower stroking his dick. I immediately felt petty, so I just like took the phone, took a picture of myself flipping him off, and you know, sent the snap, and then I text Short Pockets and sent that. And I had that moment of like petty jealousy.
Yeah.
And then, but I immediately felt less than because I did.
Yeah, like you felt bad afterwards immediately.
It wasn't my place.
Yeah.
To do that, it wasn't my place to react to that.
Yeah.
So like I had that petty moment, and then I was just like, that I probably shouldn't have did that. Not like I really give a fuck about how he feels, but it's about me and my character and how I walk through shit. And it's like, that was beneath me. I really shouldn't have did that shit.
This may be a little bit off topic, but I have actually a few questions for M. So, one of my questions is, so knowing Bobby for a little bit, right? He's kind of he's a little bit of a nut, you know, like both of us.
Wait, where does this go? Never mind. Go ahead.
He's a little bit of a nut. Like sometimes the way he be saying shit and thinking, it's like some of the stuff is like, whoa, you know. But a lot of the time is definitely like logical and makes sense, right? But with all that being said, how did you personally feel when you first met him?
I did not like him at all. Like, I fucking could not stand him. Like, the thought of, like, I would call into work just to see who was there. Like, I would drive past work.
Hold on now. Did y'all see how like passionate she got right there? Wow. So you called.
So
it
what the fuck happened?
Yeah, I was gonna say how
I don't know.
What was it?
He gave you a seizure, and then you were just like, all right.
I mean, we like just started having more conversations, and like I had to realize like the way he talks. Oh, that's just like.
Wait. So so you didn't like him, but why?
Because like he just was always fucking running his mouth, like just running his mouth about shit that I'm just like, okay, we're at work first and foremost. Like, don't need to run your mouth about this. Or he's always giving somebody a hard time. It's just like, yeah, fuck, stop being annoying and just like be regular. But I couldn't imagine him being regular because then he would be boring. So just having more conversations with him, understanding, oh, that's just who he is, that's his personality.
So then what put it over the top? Like, what made you interested and like want to be involved?
I don't know. Oh, I know.
I know.
So, okay, there was a guy, so the dude he talked about sent me a dick pic, whatever. I used to talk to him, we were together, whatever.
Oh, this is you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, like, I was dealing with him, and then, like, I confided in Bobby about it, but then, like, whatever, me and that nigga stopped. There was another dude out at work. I was like, oh, I think he's cute or whatever, so I texted Bobby. So then I texted him, and I remember I was on the bus. He was like, how did it go with this person? And then I was like, oh, you know, it was okay. He was like, but I can't admit, I was kind of jealous. And I was like, wait, repeat? What did you just say? He said, oh, I was kind of jealous. I was like, that mean you got a crush on Emily or something? Like, oh, I just fucking ratted myself out, whatever. Like, you know, I was just like, confusion, like, all over the place. When I got off the bus and I started walking home, and I was like, did this just happen? Like, no, he's tripping. Like, he's really tripping. I don't know what he's talking about, but yeah. I don't know. And then it just like shot off from there. Like, everything is so natural. Feels like we've been like together forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of our movements are natural. Like, we be getting in trouble at work. Well, I do at least. They don't come to him. Like, you be slacking, and I'm like, my bad. Like,
my bad.
Shit, my bad.
I mean, they tell me that shit too. They be like, oh, you don't do nothing. I go, yeah, I know. I'm good.
But shit, I always do shit. So when they were telling me you slacking, I was like, oh shit, I'll get myself together. I don't know. It just... There was a switch that happened, like, super quick, so it was, like, hard to pinpoint, like, exactly what it was, but it was just, like, super quick.
So, I mean, at that period of time, it was super quick, but now, I mean, obviously, you've had time to think about it, right?
Yeah.
So...
I mean, it was, you know, like I said, more of his personality, understanding that's who he is, and, like, how, like, natural and fluid, like, certain things we do are. It's just, like, whoa, what the fuck? Like... And then, like, the amount of things that we have in common, I'm just like, oh, shit, bitch. You done did the damn thing.
How do you appreciate his communication?
Oh, I love it. Because thinking about how, like, ex-partners communicated versus, like, how I dealt with that, I was like, I don't even know. Because, like, there's, like, always a conversation about, like, oh, you feel this way? Oh, bitch, we're talking about that shit, like, now. Even though I don't want to, but... feels better to talk about it now than just, oh, you know, I'm fine, and then you're really not fine. Like, doesn't work. So it's taking me out of my comfort zone of just saying, oh, I'm fine. Like, I don't want to talk about that. So snatched me on my little box and was like, bitch, we're here. We got to talk about all this shit no matter what. And like,
so you think if his communication wasn't at the level that it was, would y'all be talking? Like, say for instance, like you're obviously saying that you appreciate his communication style and
Yeah.
how he.
Like, if he didn't have that, that probably wouldn't even, like, don't take offense to this. It'd probably just be like a dick appointment type situation. Like, you're a cool person, but, like, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that at all.
How about the level of I would say affection? Because even when I watch him and he's dealing with like his children, right? You know, it's like it doesn't matter where we are, what we're doing. Bobby still has he's always open. He's always affectionate. If that makes sense.
Like, most definitely. Even at work, like, he be trying it all fucking day, all day. I'm like, we're finna get in trouble here. Like, stop. Like, he don't care where you at. Like, nigga can go down. Like, he's trying to have it go down at work. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. Like, we cannot do this. Here, stop. No. But he really don't give a fuck. Like, he just be trying it.
And so do you think that also that nonchalantness is, like, attractive?
Oh, yeah,
like
most
that?
definitely. Because, like, you see, like, most couples that, like, touch me in public, like, they're weird. They just act, like, weird towards each other. But, like, he don't do that. We don't, like, nigga, if he's feeling a certain type of way, oh, I want to touch you, that's what's just finna happen. And it is what it is.
So, like, you get your vagina played with on the bus sometimes?
No. I will not let it go that far.
No.
On the 6th.
No, like my affection. No, my affection is more like out in public.
Right by the
I
max.
don't really see other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to kiss her, I'm gonna kiss her. If I want to hold her hand, I'm gonna hold her hand. Like, I don't relate to the other people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, this is my movie. These are my walk-on cast. Like, if I'm in the mall, everybody in that mall is just background
It's
actors.
extras.
They're extras. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my movie. I'm the hero of my movie. And I walk through life like that. Like, if I want to kiss her, I don't give a fuck where the fuck we at. If I want to hold her hand, if I want to touch her, if I want to hug her, that's just the way I am. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to say nothing to me. Nobody. I'm not going to get that's not appropriate. I think I give off that vibe of watch your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't just going to tell me anything. You know what I mean? So that does kind of give me a privilege to just kind of do what the fuck I want to do and how I want to do it. You know what I mean?
Is there anything that you would tell this nigga to chill out on, or tell him to do more of?
Maybe chill out. Like, when at work, he just tries it so much. Like,
what
I
tries
have a big
what?
thing with,
Well,
like,
you
our
think everybody
coworkers.
see us.
That's what I
Nobody
think. I
sees
think
us.
everybody's looking at us, and I have a thing with, like, only, like, a few of my coworkers know that, like, me and him are together, because everybody else is gonna be like, oh shit, that's not right. He can go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like they're very, like, judgmental people at my job. Very, like, judgmental.
That's everybody.
Very, very. But, like, at my job especially, they're like,
Yeah, it's a couple that are like...
that are just like, they all come up to me, oh, so what are you and Bobby? And I'm like, oh, that's my friend. Like, that's my really good friend.
Yeah, I remember working there and having a person like, oh, so I heard you're dating so-and-so. And I'm like...
Who are you?
Excuse me? Like, who are you to ask me that? They're like, yeah, so you were dating so... I'm like, where'd you hear that from? They're like, oh, I heard it in the wind. And I'm like...
And they'd be like, oh, I'm just looking out for you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, like...
I don't need you to look out for me.
What?
Thank
You
you
need... Huh? I remember what... Yeah.
Now, you asked her, what do I need to do more of?
Like what? Because I always... So, for me, personally, for my partners, I like to ask... I would say semi-often or frequent. Is there anything that you would like me to do more and to do less? I'm no like a therapist or anything, but
Is there things I need to do more of?
I thought it was just a good
right
question
now-
to ask. You know, that's all.
content. Like I feel pretty content with like everything that he does. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something I'm like, oh, do more of this, or you know, be less of a dick face. But
Be less of a dick face.
at work, you know. But those things are like, they're just like little things, you know.
I
Those-
feel like she doesn't think our sex is long enough.
No. He thinks this is what he thinks.
You know, I have that thought sometimes in my brain.
Because no,
too.
like
Question.
there's sometimes she be like hella high
What is-
energy
no,
afterwards,
no.
and I'm like,
No.
oh,
You
I
like,
didn't do
you like, yeah,
You want her to be
exactly.
dead afterwards?
You're like, wait a second.
You want her to be like barely a pulse? Like,
You're
where's
too
the pulse?
Fucking jolly right now.
What is
the
the
pads,
quickie
like,
to
You
you?
should be
clear.
passed out,
Clear.
sleep
What is
by
a
now.
quickie to you though? To you, like, what is a quickie?
A
to you?
quickie to me?
Like, how long do you think it should last?
A
Or
quickie?
how quick it should
Versus to what I say and then do.
be? Right. To
No,
like,
no. What do you consider a quickie?
For me, a quickie is, you know, if I gotta be somewhere, there's a time constraint. So I would say a quickie can be no more than
No less.
No, quickie. Like
Quickie,
it has
like-
to.
Oh,
be
so
quick.
yeah,
Has
no,
to be
yeah,
quick.
no more.
I
No
think
more.
I don't think it can be no more than like 45 minutes tops for a quickie. Like that's tops for a quickie, because like at that point, like I could, it just depends. So you know, I would say like from 45 is pushing it for me.
So now,
I
so then I must ask, since that's your opinion on what a quickie is.
Okay.
When have you ever had, with me at least personally, a 45-minute session?
I think we have like in the mornings when we wake up, because we're like maybe from the night before, and then we're just like, fuck it, let's get another one. Or
I'm saying, like, we've been talking about this. This is we're about to have a session.
oh, like what are our session? Oh,
I'm not saying like the time, but I'm saying that 45 minutes. Don't you think that's like?
But you talking about like a full blown sexual situation. M was asking like, what is the definition of a quickie?
right.
And how long is
So
that?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Did that just touch something in you?
it did personally.
wait,
You're really like trying to go, I don't do quickies. Like,
wait. So do you think I'm saying that it's too long for a quickie? I'm confused what your emotions are about that.
I'm dying. Slowly. What I was saying is that a quickie is like an hour and a half, like 2 hours. Like that's like nigga, that's like nigga, you that was
I
fast.
see what you mean. Well, yeah.
Is that not?
If I'm gonna be honest, I think in the beginning of our relationships, we had more of those like 45-minute things going.
Once I start to pay attention to how you feel during sex and take into account.
see, this
that
is how you work the insecurities.
You-
Keep going.
This once I took into effect that yes, you need to get all of yours too, and blah blah blah. And the more we've been coming to the podcast
Yeah.
and all of that stuff
Yeah.
is what I'm referring to, not 9, 10 months,
Okay.
12 months ago.
Well,
when we
then
went
I
on
don't
45-minute
think
sex.
there has been a time that those constraints that you have just told me. I don't think
Oh, thanks.
I don't think there has been a time that we have had sex for less than 2 hours.
The time doesn't matter. I'm just, or it does matter. Yes, it does.
Now,
45,
this is the thing.
45
I was
minutes
really
is not
proud
quick.
of us because we just managed to have like our first was around 45 minutes, like our first like 45-minute, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a couple times like I try to have a quickie and I try to make it like
physically try, like literally, like I'm like
yeah.
fuck, I need to get this off, and and it just
never
doesn't-
works like
it just doesn't
So,
doesn't work
like,
out.
We managed to have our first like, oh, we got that done in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Had a couple of those, must admit.
But when she has like, there are times where when we have sex, she has these bursts of energy afterwards, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you up walking around?
Running around, ready to walk the dog and shit. Like, bro, what? Bro, what the fuck
my
on?
dog.
And I don't understand that. So
Time
I'll be
out.
like, okay, next time, I gotta turn it up a
I
little
gotta
bit.
turn it up a little bit.
know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
That's how it's been.
Motherfuckers still
It
have
has
pulses
been-
at the end.
Has been quite turned lately.
You know, we gotta change that up.
I mean, it's like drinking a Red Bull. You just get energy. Like before you drink it, you're like, after you're just like, woo.
No.
And especially like
For me, it depends on the time of day. Like,
Yeah, that too.
if we start having sex at like 1 a.m. midnight and then we finish at like 5:30 and the birds are chirping, I'm dead. Like, I'm knocking out butt naked right here. I don't care what position we are on the bed, like sideways, about to fall off. Like, I'm knocking out. If it's morning sex,
like, right
breakfast,
before work
I'ma be like energized to do breakfast. Like, it'll probably make me feel real good for the rest of the day. I don't but yeah, it just depends on the time of day. But if it's anything past like the afternoon, like I probably just go to bed afterwards. Or like be hella calm. But
did
yeah.
that answer all of your questions?
No, it did not.
Would you like to finish your questions?
Oh, no. For M, yes. Yes, it did.
Well, for me,
For you, give me 2 more months of average times so that we can go back and talk about what considered a quickie is.
Oh, I
you
will say
just want to
this.
wear me down.
I know what changed her mind from hating me to loving me.
Okay, let's talk about it.
It was feeling like a snack.
Oh, this nigga, y'all. He be looking at a bitch like I'm a full course meal. Like, calm down, please. Like, it's all right.
Does he ever turn his head like this to the side?
No, like I could be like working at my computer and just like feel his eyes like piercing my body. Like,
Especially like in the beginning when I knew like, I want that. I personally, I don't know what it is, but I have this hunger, right? And it just really comes out. I would say, I think we were working together maybe a week and a half. Mm-hmm. That first time I got that, I'm gonna devour her feeling. And I'm not really the type of person to like really give a fuck who's around. So yeah, we'd be at work. And yeah, the way I looked at her, I feel like is what changed a lot. Because I knew she noticed how I was looking at it, because like her shoulders would go up and she would like,
you were like
this. You know what I'm saying? Like the way she would kind of like throw it into herself. And then, you know, I say ridiculous shit, so I would usually
I do too.
say
It's fine.
something, you know what I mean? Like when I noticed her looking, or just like a touch or something like that, and then she, you know, she's hella shy, so like if I reached across and like touched her arm or something, it just was, I'm like, yeah, I'm eating that.
You know, I don't think, like, I get that you trying to keep cordial at work and shit, and you know,
trying to keep it PG.
you know, but if I were to give you some advice, I would say embrace it, because you don't know when's the next time you gonna be able to do some shit like this. You don't know that if the next guy is gonna be not like that, and you're just gonna be like, damn, I wish he would just look me up and down like he just wants to throw me on the fucking bed. And because maybe there's gonna be a time that you feel that way, and you're just gonna be like, fuck, like I just wanna what's going on?
Power.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, so
There are
I would
times
say embrace that,
at
because
work-
I would like that.
There are times at work I'll be like, I want to lay your ass across this desk right now.
Just, okay.
I just want to climb under this desk and eat your pussy right now. And she'd be like, well, you're trying it.
Like, so hard.
You know, or like it'd be hella people in the front around us, and like I'll walk and I'll just like let my hand graze her thigh. Nobody sees this shit.
No.
She'll just immediately be like, oh, wait a minute. Or like the finger. I like that one. Like she'll be sitting down, and you know how you can see like the crack in the back.
So
Just like
annoying.
dip my finger in there right quick.
And like,
Don't
there'll
let
be
the cleavage
people
be
there.
out. 'Cause
No.
that's when you just take the two fingers and just. That's good shit.
Do you have a Bobby? Do you have a sense of like personal space at all?
No, it's all my space. It's my planet.
Right. My ears.
I know I had to move the mixer.
Oh
and
no,
all that shit.
okay.
Cause all the power will send like feedback to the cables. But we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Oh,
I just
I didn't think.
So like I was saying, like, it's all my space. You know what I'm saying? It's my planet. It's all mine. I'm just gonna walk through it and do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also like the cat and mouse. You know what I mean? I like the doing certain things that people can't see around other people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know what to call that feeling. That sneaky shit. You know what I'm saying? But in plain sight. You know what I mean? I really like
Yeah.
that. That does it for me.
In front of the cameras.
They don't fucking look
They
through
don't,
that shit.
they don't actually play that shit back. That shit was.
They only
No.
do that if like some shit
I
happens.
can't say that because like I've been on porn sites and seen like surveillance footage of like people fucking and shit and go, oh, well, that's a possibility.
That's a possibility.
Oh my god! Like
Nah.
you don't think that shit was just set up to look like that?
No,
No,
absolutely
like you
not.
go on porn sites and they're literal like some security guard has like took the footage and uploaded it to like
Oh my
X-Hamster or She's Freaky or something like that.
X
you know
and
what I
XX.
mean? You know, but then too like I don't know, like I don't really worry about that because I know it's footage of me floating out there, so I don't really. It's like fuck it, it's already happened. I can't really trip off that because I know it's a couple VHSs floating out there from back in the day. You know what I mean?
At least they VHSs. They'll be dead in 20 years. They'll be all gone.
Man, I know it's some digital shit. You know what I mean? Like
They burn that shit to CD.
I've lost a couple phones. You know what I'm saying? Over the years. You know what I mean? Like
It's precious.
that's why
Precious information.
I have learned to like immediately offboard footage into the cloud and delete off my phone. You know what I mean? Into a private locked, you know, G drive folder that's locked and private. Let me upload that. Ooh, hit delete.
I mean, you see celeb nudes all the fucking time. So if they can hack their shit or
But
get
that
a hold
always
of
comes
their-
off the iCloud. It's
that
always
fucking
off the
cloud.
iCloud.
No one knows how to use them.
Nobody has ever released some pictures that came off G Drive from Google.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because
True.
it's not just the password. Like you lock them folders up and shit.
Yeah, Google is pretty secure. I'm not gonna lie. Google
Yeah.
is pretty
I offboard that
secure.
shit immediately.
Yeah, I should probably do the same.
Cause holding shit on your phone, man, you can lose a phone anytime.
I mean, I got It's just like I got about 4,000 photos / videos in my camera roll, and it's over the course of like 2-3 years worth of stuff. Like at this point, I'm lazy to go back and delete old sex tapes that I have with other people, and it's just in there. Like it's somewhere in the thing, but I don't even really think of it. It's just in there, and I should probably. It's on my list of things to do. Look through my camera roll.
That's very much.
I swear to God.
But see, that's very much like a woman thing. Like a dude. Dude take that shit and make like highlight movies and shit, like string all of the clips together. Put transitions and titles.
Of a compilation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
this is doggy compilation.
Compilations out of shit.
Oh.
But it's very much like a woman thing to have a whole bunch of shit in your phone. You're like, I don't want to fuck with it.
Absolutely not. I delete hella photos. I can't do that.
I like to have them
Not
all at
all
my
of them,
disposal.
no.
Well, most of them they're on Google, so it's okay. Like the Google Drive thing.
But
I use the Google Drive too. I use it. My photos like automatically upload.
Yeah.
And then I delete them out my own personal camera roll. Because at that point it's like they're already backed up. So if I ever need them, I can just. And that's accessible anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And it's linked.
So what I want to do right now is, like, I'm gonna fully swing this because Penelope, I'm really interested because, like, when you first started coming to the podcast, you were really, really like a monogamous person, and I'm just trying.
No, she was not.
That's what she said.
Stop believing that shit. She's never been like that. She's never.
Know?
Calm down.
Because I personally.
You have the receipts on her vagina.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Don't you fucking don't.
So I'm just interested as.
Hey, thanks. No, I do not have the receipts on them.
Oh, my bad. I done fucking
But,
snitching on this podcast.
My receipts are everywhere.
No, I'm just. I'm just very interested in hearing like. The topics we talked about, things that you've heard, like, has it had any type of effect on how you perceive, like, relationships you want in your life? Has it changed anything, or is it grounded more in monogamy? Like, what?
I think it's definitely opened my mind to, like, polyamorous relationships. Because back then, like, the way I saw, like, polyamorous, like, relationships, it was just, like, to me, it was just, like, an open relationship, and, like, I wasn't very educated on that, and I also grew up in a background where, like, like, my parents actually didn't really teach me anything about relationships, and so I was just kind of a baby in everything, and I honestly, like, I still am, like, like, I've only had, like, one, like, relationship, like, a real relationship, so I'm still, like, learning. But with all the things that I've learned about polyamorous relationships, it just kind of, like, reinforces the idea that I still have so much that I want to work on for myself before I even, like, step into, like, another relationship. Like, I am not, like, even, like, close to where I want to be, like, emotionally and mentally before I get into, like, another, like, any type of emotional connection, honestly.
Now, my thing is, I hear women say that all the time, right? That's kind of like another thing that's very, like, feminine. But I'm very curious to, like, when a woman is in that space of, like, I'm not in the emotional place to have a relationship, like, what do you do when you meet somebody that you're really attracted to and you feel that chemistry with? Like, do you still, like, reject that person to stay in this time of self-growth, or do you, like, start to make compromises to see if that will go somewhere?
Yeah, I think I guess it depends on the person and the just, like, place where I'm at, I think for me, like, I would want to have a conversation about it and just talk about where I'm at, like, what I think I'm capable of doing, what I can do to get where we want to be. But I think it's just, like, it's not that I'm not going to get into another relationship. It's more of just being more hesitant to get into one. But yeah, I think, but as of right now, like, it's definitely something that I don't want. Like, it is a no. Yeah, I don't think there's, like, anyone that could change that, honestly. because I think like getting into another relationship like that's still too much. Like it means that I'm probably gonna lean on them more than I want to
Okay.
right now.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And M, how have you been with things that you've learned in your journey?
I feel like personally I'm making a lot of baby steps, which is progress for me. Because sis, let me tell you, I was I was never really open to the idea, but now I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, every day, like, there's a conversation about it, so, like, it just, like, makes things more clear, and, like, I can always ask questions on, like, this, and that, you know, so, I don't know, like, for instance, like, steps that, I guess, like, have been taken. So, like, last night, we hung out with somebody that he used to have, you know, a sexual relationship with. And, like, how I felt in the moment was, like, I wasn't thinking about, oh, they've had sex. It was just like, oh, she's a cool person. You know, the conversation was cool, you know, like, it was cool. So, like, I was proud of myself for that, because if you would have, like, took me like 2 months ago, I would have thought that was like the most disrespectful thing. Like, it would have been a whole issue. Like, I would have had like super big attitude. Like, I would have been like, how could you do that? And like just been so petty and like immature about the situation. But I don't know, I feel like I handled it pretty well last night with, you know, how it went. Like, it was cool. So I felt like that kind of, you know, helped solidify certain feelings or emotions that I thought I was gonna feel, but it turned out I really didn't feel any of those things. Like, as soon as she walked in, like, it wasn't, oh, he's had sex with her. Like, that didn't pop into my head until we were all having a conversation about, like, I think honesty or something. And so she checked him, was like, does she know, you know, she didn't say it to make sure, like, she didn't say anything wrong. But he was like, no, yeah, she knows we slept together, you know? So I just feel like it was really a success. So, you know, I kind of pat myself on the back a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I was really proud of how you handled it. For me, in situations like that, I really like the after conversations. That is a bonding thing that couples get in poly that monogamous people don't get to have. Like, you go on this date and you both have these different experiences on this same date, or having a conversation with somebody, and as a couple being able to express what you felt, what you liked, how you think it went, you know, all of that is a really good bonding experience. I really like that. And then too, like, I think the conversation afterwards was really good. It got a little emotional, you know what I mean? But I think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, there was some emotions that came up.
Let me hit the shit,
at the
man.
end of that conversation. Nigga, you just laid down on the goddamn floor after hitting that.
No, I gotta relax.
Have one of these. Have a real one.
Yeah. Don't beat around the bush.
Radio shit. This is lighter than that. You know what I'm saying?
No, not that shit.
But
that shit was tight.
But I really like that it did get emotional. We were able to talk about that. It got a little tense, and it's like, okay, let's just go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, and let this peak of emotion kind of dissipate a little bit. You know what I mean? But I feel bad that monogamous people don't get to share that bonding moment, because I really like that when you go out on a date, like, you have this feeling and you have this perception of the person that you guys are on a date with. They do, like, you see certain things and they see certain things, and then when the date is over, you guys are really sitting there talking about it, debriefing about it, and it just creates this bond that, you know, other people in other relationships don't get to have. You know what I mean? And the fact of, monogamous people, yeah, they fall in love with each other, but they don't also get to fall in love with somebody together. You know what I mean? That's not an option that they have. So those are the extras to me. Because in monogamy, you fall in love with somebody, and it's cool if they fall in love with you too. But then the in love is over, not with each other, but that process. Whereas when you're poly, you and your partner get to fall for somebody together, and depending on how long the relationship lasts, maybe more than once. You know what I'm saying? It's like a child. Like
He's already addicted.
You know what I'm saying? Like no.
Already addicted.
But yeah,
Checking out the scenery.
it's those things that I really like when they come out. Now, I will say this. I feel it's that same bond when you and your partner sleep with somebody together. You know what I mean? I understand unicorns don't like the debriefing that couples do afterwards, but that's a little too bad. That's just what's gonna happen. Like the couple is gonna lay in bed and go, "Did you like that? I like that. Was it cool? Yeah, it was cool." And kind of break down the whole thing. And then there's the extra shit of, yo, next time let's do this, and next time like and then you'll move this way, and you know what I mean. It's all of those little things, like that little plotting and planning, that little sensual erotic shit that you and your partner get to do, you know, afterwards in the debriefing, like planning the next time and shit like that. And yeah, I like all that shit.
Yeah, I like the little debrief after a little sex session. That's fun for me. I feel like I almost like want that after every time. Like, hey, what was your favorite part? Like, what was you thinking when I did that with my tongue? And like, I saw you and blah blah blah. Like, I really do like that part. I just want to highlight myself for a second and say that I'm very proud of myself because I feel like these past 2 weeks, I have been. One thing I haven't done in the majority time in this relationship that I have with D is that in the process of like working on my jealousy and insecurity, I was like working through it in my own head, but I wasn't like using resources to help calm myself down and like help myself think rationally. So these past 2 weeks, whenever I get jealous, I have this article saved on my phone about this like polyamorous like life coach talking about how to work through jealousy. And I read that article like probably once a day. And I already know what the article says, but just reading it and like reading the words that they use in it of like, oh, when you think this irrational thought, it's called this, and there's a term for it. And then when you think like this, oh, that's called this, and there's a term for that too. This is about a definition. And
If you don't give him that thing, give him that.
I don't got shit. I don't have it.
What do you read? You reaching for her hand?
I was reaching for her hand.
Oh.
Okay.
That made me nervous. I was like, and so I've been reading that, and it really helped me to like read the terms for it, because one of them was, I think it was personalization, and it was pretty much anything that my partner did, I personalized it into like how that relates to me, and like what, like, oh, he went out on a date with someone. Oh, that means he don't give a fuck about me no more. Like that's like personalization. Like you're making yourself like the center of that. And I realized I do that a lot, and I'm not going to pull up the article right now, but there was another one that I do often too, and just like reading that there's like an actual definition for that, and that I'm not like crazy was so reassuring. And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
Send it in
She's
the
a
group chat.
and that has helped me tremendously. Like now, and it even gave you tips like sometimes, and maybe my jealous people in the room can vouch for me, but sometimes when you get jealous, you feel like like a sensation in a certain part of your body. Like for me, my chest gets really heavy and tight. And it was telling, like the article was telling me that I should try to focus on that feeling and like try to alleviate it. And it really helped me. Like that article helped me a lot. And I went out of my way to buy books. This week I bought 48 Laws of Power. I bought The Art of Seduction. I bought The Art of War. And then as I was looking for those books in the bookstore, I came across this other book. I don't know if you've heard of it before, Bobby. It's called The Ethical Slut.
Yeah, I heard of that one.
Isn't it good? Because your tone of voice was like, oh, it's shit.
No. It's not shit. It is a very relevant book for a large part of the poly community. It just doesn't really apply to me. You know, personally, it's more female tone.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exactly what I needed.
Women, especially in our country, have way more of negative connotations when it comes to sex and sexuality.
Yeah.
And it speaks a lot about female empowerment and owning your sexual desire and owning your sexuality.
Yeah, and I think I need that too. So
Sex Before Dawn is a real good one too.
Yeah, so I bought all those books and
You fresh, Lady T. You know that? You so fresh.
thank you, baby. And I can't wait. I actually bought.
Is my kid in this house? Is that him?
No, he's outside.
He's not in here.
He's been gone.
Oh, okay.
Is my kid in his house?
There's been a lot going on in the background of this podcast.
Well, no, because he's been like, for a long time since he's been up here, he's been stuck in that room. And, you know, he just hit 13. He just had his first little breakup.
He's feeling grown.
And yeah, now he's just like,
I feel like
yo, I'm
the
about to
balls are
watch.
dropping.
You know what I mean? Like, it's 10 o'clock. If it wasn't a Friday, especially if we were back home, he couldn't be out this late. But it is something in me to just allow him
He said
to be outside.
He said Portland.
You know what I mean? No. We not in Portland. We in West Vancouver.
West Vancouver.
Certain parts of Portland, I don't think I'd probably let him out this late either. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's not that bad.
You know, we have really good officers here. I don't know about them over.
We have really good officers here.
Oh,
Like
God.
everybody know everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is true.
I don't know. I think a lot of what helps people when they come into the poly, like community and lifestyle,
Yeah.
is not just working on jealousy, but taking a further look into what you believe a connection is, what you believe sex is. Like,
Yeah.
really looking at your beliefs around these things. And, like, I have a strong compersion ability. You know what I mean? Like, there are times when my partner, again, recently there was somebody who, like, reached out to reconnect with her, and like she was just saying like a lot of negative things about this person, but I could see in her face there was something, like there was some type of thing that was a connection. So I have to be like, you know, well, look, you didn't really have any closure. Maybe you should talk to this person. There's obviously something that's there. I think you need to figure out what that is. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she made a couple references to his inability to, like, have a happy or healthy relationship. But I'm like, I see something in your eyes for this person. Maybe it's his sex. Maybe you just might, that's what it is that you need from this person. The connection that you got with this person. Through a conversation with this person, you'll figure that out. You'll go, I want to fuck this dude. I just don't want to talk to this dude. Or in that conversation, you'll go, I'm good on all of it. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you'll work out.
Yeah,
what that
it'll
is.
come up, yeah.
And I tell monogamous people all the time, you create so much damage in your relationship because anytime you go into a relationship with somebody that you really got feelings for, exes start popping out the fucking woodwork every goddamn time.
Every time.
Every fucking time.
And in monogamy, you're not allowed to reconnect with that ex and process what you really felt for them, or if it was really over, or any of that. You know what I mean? To where, as a poly person, I can support my partner in, yeah, you probably need to process through what, you know what I mean? And if it's really over, go ahead and really have that closure. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a benefit, because at that point when your partner is like, you know, man, we met at Starbucks, we had a really long conversation, and I just really know, like, I absolutely don't want this person in my life, or, yo, I found out there was a whole bunch of misunderstandings, I would like to see this person, and yada yada. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the knowing, the information, the support is important to me.
Yeah, and I just feel like for me personally, over the course of this year, I've had a hard time, like I have a desire to be polyamorous. It's just I'm starting from such a I feel like the point that I'm starting to be polyamorous is so far away, not only because I grew up monogamous and everything that I was taught was monogamous, but my father was actually person, and he moved to like south side of Chicago, and he was like 17 years old, like by himself. And he raised us like super possessive, like we all had to go to this, like if he wants to go to Costco, he wants to go to Costco with the whole family. Like we all have to go. You know, at nighttime when he wants to go to bed, we all have to go and lay down together. Like we all got to eat. Like it, but it was just too much. It was overwhelming.
Nigga, that's not possessive. That's like extreme abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some really, really abusive shit.
Well, I experienced that in my childhood along with some other things, and that I feel like on top of being monogamous, that set me back even further, because now I have to like work through that shit. So, it's like I really want to be polyamorous. I really want to get to this point where I can like work through my jealousies like just smoothly and efficiently. But it's just like it's like an everyday job. Like every day, like I wake up, maybe something will pop in my head and I'm going to be like, listen, like you got to focus, blah, blah, blah. I redirect my thoughts. And it's almost like a brain exercise for me, like every day. Like I'm literally rewiring the synapses in my brain. And
okay, let me say something. Part of your issue is too much about D. You are not enacting the freedom that you get into this. Can I give you some homework?
Yeah.
Go on a date.
I was just about to say that.
Go on a date.
Hold on.
Go out.
Not just that. You need
Kiss him.
Find somebody.
Kiss him in his mouth.
Okay, you're going too far. But
Slow
you
down,
need to
please.
find somebody, like, you need to go on your Tinder or whatever. You need to find somebody. You need to communicate. I found somebody. I want to go on a date.
Guy or girl.
Hold on.
Guy or
This is
girl.
the thing. It doesn't matter. Actually, I really think it needs to be a guy. Because part of your hold into monogamy is what another man means if you deal with another man. Because once you break that, there's so much of it all that will be broken. You need to find somebody that you're attracted to. You need to go out on a date. But you need to just communicate. I found this person, we're going out Friday. You need to stop looking for his approval. I'm not saying having his approval is a bad thing, but you have too much caught up in his approval, which mirrors on how much he needs your approval.
Yeah, because I think I do have this fear of, like, if I go out and go on a date with some guy and, like, let's say we end up having sex, like, there's, in the back of my mind, like, there's this fear that Damari is going to be like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm not fucking with that.
Okay, and I have to say this to that. It is not healthy to be in a relationship, to be offered certain freedoms and be afraid to take those freedoms out of fear of loss of the person, And this is a test you need, because if he is going to leave you because you go out on a date, you need to know that now.
Yeah. You're
I'm
right.
not trying to like break y'all up or no shit.
Yeah, no, that totally makes
But this
sense.
is a part to where, like, if you don't get over this, because you two are on really kind of different levels with it. Where he's at and where he wants to go and at the speed he wants to move, like, you're way behind. And there are things that are, like, holding you in this place. If you're trying to be where he is, you have to start taking action on your own, with your own thing, and being comfortable with that, because the more you do that, the more you will understand the other side. If you meet somebody, you like them, you have a connection with them, you go out on a date with them, or even sleep with them, and you come back and you still feel the same love for D, that will clarify so much for you, and it will make so much concrete for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this next week, from now until next Friday, you need to go out on a date. And you don't need to be checking him while you're out on a date. You need to be paying who you're on a date with full attention.
Mm-hmm.
You need to text
Full
D,
attention.
yo, I'm about to go out on my date. I'll text you afterwards. And then cut your fucking phone.
Sounds good, baby. Have fun. Let me know how it goes afterwards.
Can you agree to that?
Yes. Yeah, I can agree to that. Yeah. There's yeah, I could arrange that. Yeah, no, that's definitely also been a big obstacle for me, and lately I have been receiving a lot of pressure. Good pressure from Penelope and also G that, you know, I should go out on
Really,
a date.
Penelope? Are you against me on this or what? Are you with me or what?
It's a good
I'm playing. I'm just messing.
She's like, "Whoa."
But like I said, I think it should be a dude.
Yeah.
But it is your choice whether it's a man or
I think it's most available. It will be a guy for sure.
Most available. Not by the looks of those messages. So we talked about this earlier today, actually.
Yeah, he was looking through my Tinder.
I was telling her because we were just sitting there. I was on Tinder. Then she got on Tinder, and she kind of like sat right next to me. And usually, you know, you always have that like, let me see what this nigga.
I mean, we were just kind of like.
But we were just chilling,
Looking.
right? We were just chilling. So
She turned the phone, she turned the body.
no, I'm saying that's how it's usually like. That's how it would have usually gone, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's definitely been a lot of work to just be natural. Like, oh, I think I'm on Tinder. Who cares? Like,
Yeah, I feel like
I'm
we've
on
gone so
Tinder,
much better.
and I really don't care who's looking. Like, I even still sometimes like on Tinder in public. I'm like, I don't want anybody to see that I'm on Tinder right now, right? So we're both on Tinder talking and stuff, and we were just basically talking about the people that I have matched with, the people that she's matched with. But it was more focused on her and who she's looking for, what she's looking for, her bio, what's in the
Yeah.
bio, what she's you know, like what is she trying to do? And I've been telling her this for the longest period of time. Tiff, you need to go out and go on a date. Like, I've been saying this every day for I don't know how long now. I've been saying, like, dude, you need to fucking get out and go on a date. Like not, whether that's a guy or a girl, I personally really don't care. I have a preference.
I know that.
But you know, guy or girl, yeah, it should be. I would like to personally see that happen, not only for her, you know, but for myself too, in the sense of how I'm going, like how will I feel when I get the text message or the call, like, hey, D. Yeah, remember how we were talking about I was gonna eventually go on a date? Yeah, well, I'm getting ready right now. I'm leaving in 30 minutes to go, blah, blah, blah.
Now, the question is, because we're going to make this agreement right now so there is no bullshit later. Okay. Because sometimes when you go on a date, the chemistry is popping. Does she have to tell you before or after if they slept together?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not what?
that didn't answer shit.
No, like she doesn't have personally. She doesn't have to tell me. I don't feel. I've made it very clear what I want. Very clear. One thing only.
No, we need to hear it on audio. So you were saying
I'm saying
does not have to tell you if any sex.
I'm
happens.
saying if it changes the way she feels about me, tell me. Otherwise, I do not. I personally.
Now,
I have a kind of a
don't-
problem with
I don't feel. I don't. Yeah.
do you feel you need to share that? Like, do you feel like for you need to tell, yo, we did sleep together?
I feel like I do want to share that. Yes, if it happens, I feel like I do want to share it. Not only just so I can get it off my chest, because I feel like it's bigger of a step for me to go out on a date with a guy than it is for you. Just because I've struggled with that, and it would make me feel more comfortable if I told you that I'm going out on a date and that, yeah, we did have sex. I feel like that would be good for you just to like process that emotion as have I did in the past. And
If you want to tell me and talk about it, I'm always willing to have that conversation. But I'm saying like there's always like, oh, our boundaries and what we want to hear and that type of stuff. Again, when I told you when we literally the first day I met you, like I said, I don't care what you do, how you do it, just make sure you're responsible about this, and that if it changes any way of the dynamics of us, then let me know. Otherwise, please go. Like I'm telling you.
Now, this is a freedom. Matter of fact, this is a freedom you really need to walk down. You know what I mean? Like, now I will say, with telling your partner that you've had sex with somebody else isn't always for your partner. It is just as equally for you, because for some people, having sexual intercourse with somebody and not saying it makes them feel negatively. It makes them feel like they're hiding something.
yeah, that kind of is, yeah.
So her telling you may not at all be for you. That just may be something she may need to process through that moment. Right. So we are in agreement. Plus, the fact that him stating, I don't need to know, should really alleviate pressure for you in that. Because even telling becomes now just your choice.
Yeah.
Because you're being given the option of, if you want to talk about it, we can. If you don't have to tell me. That should alleviate the pressure on if you feel the need to say anything or not. You know what I mean? This week, you are on the hunt.
How about that?
This week, you're not the deer, you're the lion.
Okay.
You're
Leo.
gonna find somebody, go out on a date, have a good date, good conversation, process through that.
Make them buy everything. Make them pay for everything.
I got you.
And then get some more money to come home with.
I'm like, actually, can I get a milkshake to go? If by chance.
No, you don't say, actually, may I? You just order one and look at the nigga like,
What up?
you paying?
But yeah, I think yes. So, and then also just to reiterate, our sex boundaries, no cum around my face, on my body, in my mouth, right? I'm just like reiterating this stuff.
Yeah, we're getting the agreements.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
No, I'm just saying like that's what you said last time, right?
I don't remember saying that, but yeah, sure.
You said you don't want anyone to come in my mouth.
That's probably some shit I said. Like I probably would have said. Like just.
I know, but like, is that something that you believe? Like, because Bobby and you was a hella agreeing on it last time. Like, oh yeah, God no, that's the. Like what? Yeah. Condoms, obviously. That's been established.
Let me sit on that one.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Give me a couple. Give me a day or two.
All right. Okay. And
Write those down. Because this shit y'all go through I said it like 6 times. G. Like, I'm really tired of repeating myself. We're getting across that. Shit needs to be written down.
I'm making a page right now.
Y'all both got iPhones. You can share a note. You can begin to make written contracts of, yo, I'm not okay with this, I'm not okay with this, I need this, I need that, so that you both can see it, so there's no more we just keep talking about this shit.
I think that would be, because then there would be no back and forth of us be like, no, I swear to God, no, I never heard that. If we have a list, we could just be like, well, let's pull up the list then.
Well, I'm telling you, once I get a list, this like, in all seriousness, like I don't know if I even should be saying this, but in all seriousness, once I get a list, there's no more talking. Like, nigga,
You're just gonna start sending me lists and numbers.
Once you get upset, I'm just refer to A3 and
Section 1.
Section 1, nigga.
Paragraph
word
2.
Word 4, and that's it. Like when Bobby told me about that shit, nigga,
Maybe that's a good thing though.
Serious.
Imagine how much.
Don't let me get some shit written down. I'm telling you.
This is what you're doing with that shit. The fighting off writing shit down gives him the freedom to future change. No, I ain't say that. I said blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Because when you write shit down...
I didn't think about it like that, but...
You're sticking to it.
If you say that...
There's no more... No, T. I said... And I said it like every day for like a month. It's just not it. That goes away.
Sounds like
That's
some
a
shit
very good impersonation.
That sounds like some shit I'd say.
So, we got those agreements.
Yay.
We're going to wrap up this show because the mic has been bumping all fucking
It's getting worse.
Yes. Can y'all hear it? It's been bad?
It's just been like a staticky crumble.
Oh, no.
Like, hella times both y'all don't like slam the table.
Shit started vibrating. We're like,
Oh, fuck.
When you were like, God. Yeah, this shit was loud.
I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for your time and attention. And we out.
See y'all.
Thank you for listening. And if you like this show and you want to help us grow, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast or just the episode that you like the most. And also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you catch us. If you would like to make a donation to the show, please go to our page at hklogic.podbean.com and become a patron of the show. If you would like to contact us, you can email us at hardknocklogic@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 510-255-4546. Again, that's 510-255-4546. And you can always catch all of our content on this network at hklogic.podbean.com. Hope you come back. Hope you give us another listen.